I'm here with Bambi. Hi, Bambi.
Yo, how's it going?
Bambi's not your God-given name or mother-given name
No,
or...
true. No, it's my real name is Joseph Morris.
Hi, Joseph Morris.
How's it going?
What do you do, Joseph?
I do the blinkies. I do the lights for
Flashy
Disturbed.
flash.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, just we had a programmer and stuff, so I operate. I have to update things and do the lights,
Do the lights.
What else do you want to talk about?
I want to know where you're from.
Oh, I'm from Canada. Yeah.
You're one of those.
Yeah, I'm from up in, it's not really, it's pretty much America though, because it's Southern Ontario. So
Oh.
it's, it might as well be in, sometimes I'm further south than some Americans are,
Yeah, actually,
because we go way down there.
That's
so.
true. What
Yeah.
got you into this industry?
Okay, so yeah, my dad builds guitar amplifiers, which is pretty cool. Yeah,
The obvious choice is lights.
shout out Morris amps. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm a drummer.
Okay.
So it's hard to be like, oh, I'm gonna build those amps. I did though. We're going off on a tangent here.
No, this is what this whole thing's about.
I went to school for electronics engineering,
Okay.
engineering. And I was planning to build those guitar amps, but I, once again, don't play guitar, so it was hard to continue on doing that. And I did work for my dad for a very brief period of time. But while I was working with my dad, we would go and deliver amps. We delivered amps to Metric, the band Metric, one time. And I remember going to, I think it was the Sony rehearsal space in Toronto, and thinking, this is the coolest thing ever. And seeing all these guys, because they were set up, very similarly, just they were doing rehearsals to go on tour. And I saw it and I was like, this is really cool. I want to do that. And so I remember applying to a local AV company in Niagara Falls, Ontario. And I applied and I went in and he said, well, what do you want to do? I said, well, I want to do audio. And he goes, yeah, well, everyone does. I already have an audio guy. And he pointed, I remember we were sitting up at the top. He kind of had his office on the top of the perch of this little warehouse. And he pointed down at some silver par cans that were retrofitted with LEDs. And he goes, I need a lighting guy. And I was like, yeah, lights are cool. And that was it. That's for real it. That was it. I was like, okay, yeah, lights, I'm in. And that was it. So
That's incredible. So what happened after that?
So I worked with him for, I feel like it was a couple years, maybe a year or two. It was just 3 of us at the company. And then eventually I went freelance. And when I went freelance, I went into the Toronto market pretty heavily. And Christie Lights really helped me out. I did a lot of work for them. And I started touring for Christie Lights. And then, yeah, from that, eventually went proper freelance. Like I was freelance, but I had some visas with them to work in America and stuff. And then, yeah, I just went hardcore freelance at some point and never looked back. So
First tour
was the Trues, Canadian band. They're great. Yeah, I did them in 2016. That was my first. I'll tell you the story. I'll be very open. They were at my dad's place, okay? At my parents' place.
Yeah.
And I was already a lighting guy and at that company. And my mom went back in the shop where my dad was working on their amps. They had Morris amps at the time. They still do. And she was like, hey, do you guys need a lighting guy for your tour? And the bass player was there, Jack. And he said, yeah, actually we do. So that was...
Okay, what was after that one?
After that, I did Big Wreck, another great Canadian rock band. Love those guys. I did them for a couple years. Did Big Wreck, and then I've done quite a few Canadian bands. I think my first major to get out of Canada major break was still through Christie Lights, and it was the Killers. I was front of house tech.
Oh, cool.
Front of house tech for the Killers, for the designer Stephen Douglas, and yeah, I did that for a year and a bit, and then I picked up, yeah, last year I did, same designer put me on Hosier as lighting director. So that was awesome. Yeah, which was great. For an entire year, we did the whole world. So that's kind of my story, and now I'm here.
How'd you get with these guys?
Do I tell the real thing?
If you want to, or
I
you can just
reached
lie
out.
and make a crazy story.
I think it's
You
crazier
hung outside the bus, knocked on the door, wouldn't leave.
pretty much.
Set up your
No,
lights.
I messaged the designer, Sooner Ruthier. Do I say it? Yeah, on Facebook. And I said, hey, I think now's the time to reach out. I've been following you for a while, and
That's so
and I
cool.
said, do you have any gigs? And she said, yeah, I got a gig for you.
Oh, that's so cool, man.
So that was it.
Really?
And then I had to get the crunch thing with this tour was I had to get a proper O1 visa for this tour because I didn't have because none of the normal people that I work with are involved in this tour. So this is all fresh, brand new for me. So I have an O1 visa now, which is not a flex. It was just a lot of work to get and took a while, which just means I can work freely in the States under my own company name. So, which was great to get that and then get this.
So I've had a lot of Canadians message me, not a lot, there's been a few Canadians that message me and they're like, hey, talk to me about the O1 visa. How do you get that? What point should I get that? How hard was it actually to do it?
Yeah.
Tell me about that. Is it hard to do?
It was hard.
At what point were you like, I need to get it?
It was this. I remember being on Hosier last year and talking to all the crew and being like, okay, so it seems like the only way I can really do this is if I get this visa. And all the people involved, there was people on that tour that had O1 visas as well. And they said, Bambi, get it. They're like, just get it, go and do it. So I did. Actually, I started the process after the Hosier tour. I was in Japan on a motorcycle trip. I had 10 days off between tours. So I flew to Japan and I was on a motorcycle trip and I think I was in Hiroshima. It was crazy. It was super cool. That's a whole side story. It was a really cool thing. I love motorcycles.
Yeah?
And yeah, that was a dream. But I remember messaging these lawyers and being like, hey, it's time to do this. And so I got started while I was there. And yeah, it was difficult. It was difficult. Like, no two ways about it. It's a lot of money and it's very difficult to do. Yeah, but it was absolutely worth it. The end goal, the end result is now you can work in the United States freely and properly, you know? And to be honest, I never worked in the States. Like, I never dipped. I never did any of that. I was always by the book because I knew at some point I'd have to get this visa and be pretty serious about it. So
for the people who are debating to get it, what's your advice to them? At what point you're like, I need to get it? Do you get the work first and then go for the visa, or do you get the visa?
You can't do the work if you don't have the visa. So the only way, what helped me was...
It's like getting on tour. You can't get on tour unless you've been on tour.
Yeah,
like, how do you...
I know. Save all your information about tours that you've done, even in Canada. All the info, including every little magazine clipping, every little whatever, because that all helps. What helped me was having some serious heavyweights in the industry write letters that seem to be, they've done it before. When they wrote the testimonial letters, it was like, they were like, yep, that's already good. Because there's a couple people who gave me letters and they weren't like quite up to snuff. You know, they have to be edited a couple times. But yeah, and then the proof of future work is a tough one because you have to prove that you're going to be working. And that was tough. So Christy Lights helped me out with that massively.
Oh, that's what a cool story.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have been had. I've had a ton of requests for lighting, and to be candid, I am an audio guy, so it's been a little bit out of my comfort zone. But I'm going to lean into it a little bit.
Okay.
And kind of maybe if I ask some stupid questions, it is what it is.
No, do it. Yeah.
And lighting for me has been so like, I get signal flow for sound.
Yes.
There's some things with lighting, like it goes both ways. And then also I've had so many times I've been working on lights, usually at churches, and I'll get one thing fixed and something else happens. I try to figure that one thing and I can't figure out that one thing. Then I get it fixed, but the other thing happens.
Exactly.
And then all of a sudden it will fix itself. And I'm like, I don't know what happened.
That sounds about right, actually.
But it worked. But that terrifies me because I don't know what fixed it.
Yeah. Well, that is kind of the world we live in, though. That is, we'll fix something. I've had that multiple times where a truss will just have an issue. We call it just ghosts in the system, which is terrifying. But it's been multiple times where you'll think you fix something and then it'll come back like 2 weeks later. I mean, ultimately, it's got to be little things like, it's pretty much a bunch of little robots up there, right? So everything has a small circuit board in it, and there's so many, like, it's not that simple, like as a you know, replace a fixture, replace this. But that is what we do. We just replace, go down the troubleshooting line, replace, you know, fixture, then control whatever, and then like an NPU, and then console, and so you just go down the line and replace. But that is, yeah.
Okay,
that is
so
what we do.
For a tour like this,
Sure.
how the heck do you prep for a tour like this? Because I know with audio you can put some speakers up.
Yeah.
But for this, you can't really put some lights up. How do you design?
Sometimes
and prep
sometimes
for
you can.
this?
Sometimes you can. These guys, so I was out of the prep for this. Hopefully I don't get flack for that.
No.
But I was at home at the time, and the PGP guys were prepping. But I've prepped like the Killers, and I've prepped, you know, other gigs and Hosier and stuff like that. But yeah, sometimes, basically, at Christie Lights at least, you lay out the truss and you go in through and you power everything up and you address it all. But no, there's not always room to hang your whole rig. Almost never. But sometimes if you go to, it's like a secondary prep. It's like more like rehearsals almost. You'll go to a big warehouse and you will hang your entire rig. I remember doing the Killers, and we had a stadium-sized rig, so we could only hang. It was like 2/3 of it or more, and you know, some of the wing parts we couldn't hang, but we got most of it up there. And then the designer would come in, he was programming and everything. So in the shop, you're doing looms and you're doing hanging fixtures and you're testing and getting everything ready to be hung on site. And then on site is kind of where you know, hopefully this all works. That's sort of how it is.
How often do you get to design the rig, and how often is it something that's already pre-designed for you?
I've never designed yet. For the smaller tours, back in the day, I used to design it. You know, it's mostly a floor package, really. So no, I haven't gotten to design. That's hopefully the next step for me, is being able to have someone ask me to co-design, co-help. I did a Beatles tribute, and a guy named Steph Gottschall put me as you know, secondary programmer, secondary designer, something like that on there. It was his baby for so long. But yeah, that's the next step for me. And people do know that now, you know what I mean? So
next time we talk, we're gonna talk about that.
We'll see, yeah.
Okay, so how much of this is on the show are you actually manually doing, and how much of it is a hit play through time code and kind of just watch it go?
Okay, so with this gig, it was a playground design, Suna Ruthier and Trevor Allstrand. And then there was a programmer named Jason Giaffo, who is amazing, absolutely crazy programmer. So he did program this start to finish. But as they give it to me, there was things I have to continually update and continually, not necessarily change, but add, kind of grow the show. So there is quite a bit that I'm doing live. I've got a couple little bump buttons here, and I've added a couple little cues here and there for time code. Like, so I find myself enjoying adding to the time code. There'll be like hits that I'll be like, oh, that's kind of missing just from seeing the show 20 times. And I'll add in these, like, you know, cues that shoot back and forth or something on the blinders for a big hit or something like that. But yeah, no, it is fully time coded. This is a properly top to bottom time coded show. I'm doing some manual front light. I'm doing some manual, I mean, if you see here, there's some cues.
So this is
yeah, we can chat.
Cool.
We can chat about this too if you want. This is Depends, which is a visualizer for any lighting software. It just takes streaming DMX in, and then you can visualize. Like if you hit go a couple times here, you'll see it'll change, because this is running, I think, Down with the Sickness right now. But yeah, there's a couple manual cues that I do. Like I'll hit there's blinder cues. There's, you know, some strobing that I will hit throughout the show. Stuff like that. And for some different songs, I add different cues that pop up, and then they'll go away for each page and stuff like that.
Okay, so you have the set list from top to bottom here. You hit kind of the next song, and it goes to that your monitor.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if I just like, these are the songs here, and if I just hit like Conflict and hit go a couple times, you'll see it'll go into a different look and stuff, because now it's in a totally different song. Yeah.
Okay, walk me through this board like I'm 3 years old.
Yeah.
What am I looking at here?
Okay, no problem. So this is a Grande May 3, made in Germany, and we are running the 3 software, which I'm very excited for, because we ran the 2 software for a long time, and some people still are running it because it's so good. So, but the 3 came out, I don't know, before, like it was like 2018, 2019 when the actual hardware came out, but the software is finally like everyone's jumping to it. So take you through it, no problem. Basically you got screens that are blank when you first load this up, and you populate them with whatever you want in any way you want.
Okay.
It's like a computer. You just put what you want where you want. These are all touch screen. And then the faders are the same. You can put anything here, like really anything. You could have a strobe here. You could have front light here. You could have anything you want. So it's very customizable. There's almost nothing you can't customize on this board. It's really great.
So someone like me probably couldn't walk up to this.
You could walk up to it
and go to
it. You could totally walk up to it and just hit a bunch of buttons and things will happen. Yeah, at least right now, for sure.
For the show, during the show,
yep.
What are you doing? Where are your hands at, and what are you monitoring?
Yeah. So we'll go into show mode here. I'm always watching. Usually I've got the follow spot layout view up here. So if in a show, these are just squares that are pertaining to each follow spot. These ones are David's, these ones are Dan's, John's, and Mikey's. And I can bring those up and down, and I can bring those up and down individually. I watch front light a lot. That's just something you kind of got to do. We're not running any iMag on this show. Normally you'd need to watch it even more to make sure you're not blowing out screens and stuff like that for video guys and for engineers. But on this one, I'm just watching it, making sure it's not too bright, blowing out the stage. And then I'm also watching cues that are happening over here. And I'm also watching, if I hit this, this is time code running here. I'm just making sure that that's green and happy and that cues are running and stuff. And you can see cues are starting to run here as we go through. But that's really it. And then my hands are usually down here, which are hitting some extra buttons here and there, like that.
So in essence, top of the show, it will almost run itself.
Yeah,
almost.
There's a couple. Yeah, after each song, I'm jumping to a different macro, which is a different song. So after each song ends, like, okay, big blackout, boom, it blacks out. I'll wait a second, let the crowd do their thing, and then I'll hit the next one. Sometimes I have to hit a manual cue like that for a synth transition or something like that. There's like, I don't know, 20% manual, 15% manual in this show, but all these cues are going on their own. They will be going on their own, running with time code. You know what though? Like, it has to be like that to be that accurate for a show like this. It's a heavy metal show. You want everything to be bop, 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 perfect, you know? So I'm happy to do that. Here's an instance. At the very end here, I've put all these reminders because this is pretty new. David started holding a note at the very end of the song. He just holds the note, screams it out for indeterminate amount of time. So I've made this now a very manual cue. So this holds open.
The ending is manual, bro.
So this is, this says the ending is manual ending, and then I'll hit the last hit, and then it'll go black. Because he started doing that, and I was like, man, I gotta keep that in there.
So with the time code, does it cue each song, or do you have to manually cue each song?
Each song is cued by me.
Oh, okay.
So after it goes black, I'll do that, and then when you hit go on time code, which comes from Josh, stage right, time code will start the cues. Yeah. You technically could put all of that in time code, but that's generally, from my understanding, not really how a typical time code show. I mean, I shouldn't say that.
Sure.
Maybe, maybe other tours are running all these in time code as well. But all the time code shows that I've done are you put them up manually. Because what if they want to swap their...
Yeah.
And we did. We swapped in the set list. We swapped a couple. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
Advice to people who want to become an LD.
Right. Yeah, I would just say do the same route that I did. Just start, well, you know what? Learn the programming as quick as you can, when you can, which is like, there's YouTube tutorials, literally. There's also some good tutorials on ACT's website for specifically Grand MA. Whatever console you choose, start learning it now, and then go through the route and build the rigs. Because as an LD, it helps to just understand what's going on out there and what is, feasible. I think as well as a designer, it's good to have had all that knowledge as well. Just knowing where to put truss and where you can and cannot put truss and lighting. So I would just say start pushing cases somewhere.
So can somebody design a show like this from home?
Yes.
How?
Using Vectorworks,
Okay.
Which is a CAD software, and then using Depends and things like, I see people all the time programming and putting out their shows that they've built just for fun, including myself. I'll do the same thing. I'll program my favorite bands for practice because it's fun.
Where do they put them out?
Instagram,
That's
YouTube.
cool.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
There's whole program shows on YouTube that are all on Depends or Capture or any visualizer that you can just go up and look up. It's pretty cool.
Biggest mistake you see new LDs making?
I don't know. I'm probably making all of them, so I don't know.
Make the mistakes.
Yeah, no, make them. Make the mistakes. I honestly couldn't tell you.
Okay.
I have no idea. Just do your thing. Make the mistakes.
So what are the top 3 things that you need to do your show?
Tool-wise or just in general? I guess, I mean, obviously...
Like what are the top 3 things you need in that Pelican?
Yeah, a gaming laptop.
Okay.
For running Depends and stuff like that. Because you need to have that horsepower. You need to have a really good graphics card to run all these things. And it really helps to have a good laptop. I'll do edits at home. I'll run the software. You can run the GrandMA software on your computer. It's free. So you can run that and make the edits. In-ears, I just got a new set of custom in-ears, which is really great. And coffee.
Coffee. So spend the money, get a nice laptop.
Yeah, you need a good laptop. Yep. To run all that software at the same time, it's pretty taxing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Awesome, man. If people want to follow you and follow your career, where can they follow you at?
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram if you want. My handle is, it's my part of my first name, my middle name, and then drum, because I'm a drummer. So it's Joseli Drum, Joseli Drum.
Awesome. Or come to a Disturbed show.
That's
you can
right.
See him back here.
That's
Maybe
right.
Get some lights start flashing them at him. So
Yeah, totally. That'd
some
be great.
lasers.
I'll be headbanging.
Don't do that. But do it. But don't do it. But do it.
but do it. Yeah.
Man, thank you so much.
Thank
for your
you
time.
so much.
I appreciate you, brother.
Absolutely.
We did another thing.
Woo.
I forgot to say one thing. If you take one thing away from this video, that a lighting person truly deep down wants to be an audio person.
Whoa.